6 News. First Alert Weather Extra starts now.
Welcome into First Alert Weather Extra. Another big increase in how much rain's developed across the state of Alabama today. We've had some big lightning producers over into West Alabama. Let's get you the First Alert Weather headlines. And I think for this evening, we're still going to have some showers around, especially overnight. In the early morning, there could be some wet weather around for our Tuesday morning drive. The wet weather becomes more spotty in the afternoon, so we sort of do the reverse tomorrow. We see most of the wet weather early in the day, a lesser coverage in the afternoon. Isolated storms on Wednesday, and still looks like they're Wednesday, Thursday. We hit kind of a drier spell for the middle of the week. I know it's not going to be completely dry out there, but let's show you where it's raining right now. And the National Weather Service had a strong storm advisory that was in effect for parts of Marion and Lamar County. Storms here that are moving back to the west direction. Quite a bit of lightning, some heavy rain around Sulligent, Detroit, around Fayette, mostly just showers, and same for Tuscaloosa. We had some stronger storms earlier, but look at this, kind of interesting. These storms, they're moving to the west direction, so a lot of the big time storm action right now is moving away from our area. You can see Aliceville, storms pulling away, and we have some leftover showers happening here. There were some storms to the south, but now as they move into where we have temperatures in the 70s, it's mostly just some light showers, but we're starting to see some of this rain building in around the Birmingham area. Again, very light stuff, but just a few spotty showers that will be on radar for this evening. Again, expect an increase in the number of storms that we deal with, or the number of showers that we see tomorrow for the first part of the day. I do expect a greater rain chance there. And then Wednesday, Thursday, we'll be talking about some hotter conditions and fewer thunderstorms. But how about Memorial Day weekend? We're just getting started. We'll talk about what to expect there. The beach forecast we'll show you, as well as what's happening. We got the big SEC baseball tournament happening in our area. Mount Etna erupts. We'll bring that story to you, and a visit to the ISS as we continue right here on First Alert Weather Extra.
Good morning, everyone. Welcome into Good Day, Alabama.
A new morning comes with preparing right, because while you slept, news broke.
We have new information from that breaking news that happened this morning.
While you head out, the storm we gave you the first alert for is on its way in. And as the key turns the ignition, your shorter route to work is being found.
Avoid 459 southbound completely because of a crash.
A new morning means everything you need for a good day is on Good Day Alabama, always on your side.
The First Alert traffic you need to get you there safe and on time. Tomorrow morning, everything you need for a good day is on Good Day Alabama.
You're late, out the door, and on the go. Don't worry.
Good Day, Alabama continues all morning long.
And wherever you watch, this is what you need to know right now.
More reporters on the streets with more hours of news when you need it. Everything you need for a good day is on Good Day Alabama. Knowing first is everything. First Alert Weather.
Welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. Meteorologist Lauren Linehan. And weather around the world this evening, a scary sight for people in Italy. Europe's most active volcano, Mount Etna, erupted on Sunday. The eruption covered some cities in ash, and the airport was forced to shut down. No injuries have been reported. Though there is potential for activity with Mount Etna every year, there hasn't been a major eruption since 1922. Also in Italy, a group of climate change activists chose one of the most famous fountains in the world as the stage for a dramatic protest against fossil fuels. CNN's Michael Holmes has more.
A black cloud spreads through the waters of one of Rome's most iconic landmarks as climate activists dumped charcoal into the Trevi Fountain. All 7 were arrested and charged with vandalism, city officials referring to the protesters as eco-vandals, calling their acts a protest of worrying escalation, and Rome's mayor calling it an absurd attack on the city's artistic heritage. The activists condemned the use of fossil fuels, pointing to the recent situation in northern Italy where deadly floods have displaced tens of thousands, which researchers say is a sign of the accelerating climate crisis. This latest protest comes after the same activist group dumped charcoal in the Fountain of Four Rivers in Piazza Navona in May, and in the Barcaccia Fountain near the Spanish Steps in April. And while the Trevi Fountain has now been cleaned, the climate crisis and the mounting anger of activists is far from over. Michael Holmes, CNN.
Well, back in the U.S. is the city that never sleeps sinking. Researchers from the U.S. Geological Survey and the University of Rhode Island say in a study that New York City is gradually falling in on itself and is sinking from the weight of its buildings. Scientists calculated the cumulative mass of the city's more than 1 million buildings in 5 boroughs to be at about 1.7 trillion pounds. They also used surface geology and satellite data. Some areas had greater sink-in rates than others. Well, right now there are 4 new visitors aboard the International Space Station. 4 private astronauts are spending 8 days on board the space station. They arrived on the SpaceX Dragon capsule. They'll spend their time on board the ISS conducting scientific experiments and research. Among those is Peggy Whitson, the American with the most time in space.
We really are excited to be here. It was a great launch, a great ride. We had a lot of fun on the way up. And we're really excited to get a lot of work done up here. But it's great for me to come back personally. It does feel like home.
There's now a total of 11 astronauts on board the International Space Station. That includes the first people from Saudi Arabia who have been on board. A bill advocating for gray wolves in Colorado has been vetoed by Governor Jared Polis. While the governor favors the reintroduction of the predators to Colorado, he disagreed with the bill's approach. Jared Dean explains why advocates were hoping for a different outcome.
In late March, Senate Bill 256 would have made it so a final determination whether the gray wolf population is classified as experimental instead of endangered would ensure a 10J rule, which would be put in place before wolves are reintroduced in Colorado. After the governor's veto, Senator Dylan Roberts, a prime sponsor of the bill, said in a statement, quote, "It is discouraging to see a bill that passed the legislature with such large bipartisan margins not become law." According to the statement made by Roberts, the 10J rule would have allowed for more flexibility for managing the species. Rebecca Burkhalter, an advocate for wolves, said that she was unsure about how it would have impacted the reintroduction of the species to the state.
So this bill, SB 256, really scared me because it truly had the potential to delay the reintroduction of the gray wolf anywhere from a couple of years to a decade. That amount of time is intolerable for our ecosystems as well as for the rest of the gray wolves in the rest of the country.
In 2020, Coloradans passed Proposition 144, which directed the Parks and Wildlife Commission to create a plan to reintroduce gray wolves to the state by the end of this year.
And we will be right back. We've got to look at that 7-day forecast, and I'll take you beyond the 7-day.
West Shore Home is making shower and bath remodeling easy and more affordable for everyone. Hey everybody, I'm joined by Kirsten Page from West Shore to find out exactly how they're making that happen. Kirsten.
So Joe, we've been able to give homeowners, over 165,000 of them, the shower and bath of their dreams by making it a fast, easy, and convenient experience. But now we're making it even more affordable to start your project without breaking the bank.
Now Kirsten, when someone starts a remodeling project, costs can be a real concern. So how are you making it more affordable to start that project right now?
So instead of me telling you, why don't I show you? This homeowner was having some problems with their old shower. They called us, we stopped out, and we completely removed the old bathtub and replaced it with a walk-in shower in just one day. The best part? We can do a job like this for as low as $99 a month.
$99 a month, that's incredible.
It really is. We understand that budgets can be a little tighter this time of the year, so we want to make it easier for folks to get their projects started right now. So let's go ahead and look at another project we recently did. This homeowner was so excited to get rid of their old bathtub because they were getting an easy, low-step shower. You can see here we took out that old bathtub and removed everything down to the studs. Then we installed new walls and fixtures. By dinner time, this homeowner had their brand new shower, and the best part, they didn't need to worry about paying for their entire project up front. They were able to break it down into low monthly payments.
That project looks amazing, and the low monthly payments is going to make getting that project started so much easier. Kirsten, thanks so much. Folks, West Shore Home is making shower and bath remodeling fast and convenient, and you heard Kirsten, now they're making it more affordable too with their easy, low monthly payments. Call the number on your screen right now to start your project, and when you do, take advantage of this great offer. Call in now to get your new shower for as little as $99 a month. On top of that, they're doing free installation on all shower and bath projects. Don't delay. Call the experts at West Shore Home now.
Welcome back into First Alert Weather Extra 7-day forecast. We have a pretty good chance for some showers for tomorrow. Let's go back over to radar here just to show you where we're tracking some showers. You can see back in the Birmingham area, some rain that's been moving from west to east. The wet weather here around Birmingham, the movement's been kind of chaotic out there today. We've had rain moving to the west. The storms, at least, have been tracking back in towards Mississippi. We had a strong storm advisory, but you can see that that's moving back in towards parts of East Mississippi. The storm settling down around the Aliceville area. But again, some of these showers starting to develop back into East Alabama. And this pattern is going to stay with us tonight. Into the day tomorrow, we'll finally start to see the wet weather thin out during the afternoon, but going with a pretty good chance for not only showers, could be a couple of storms around for tomorrow. Here's a look at the forecast data, and there's a look at 7 o'clock tonight. The model's actually doing a pretty good job on pinpointing where these storms are. But you can see as we go through the overnight, there's 11 o'clock, and this shows a lot of clouds still with us. And look at this, these showers still around into tomorrow morning. There's a look at 10 a.m. and a good chance for at least the first part of the day. This is even showing into the afternoon, so it could be a rather rainy setup for parts of the area there, especially east. 30% chance of a shower Wednesday. Rain chances backing off. I still think in here we're going to enter a drier period. For the weekend, if you're heading down to the Gulf Coast, we do have highs in the low 80s, and most areas for Saturday, Sunday, and into Memorial Day there along the coast from Panama City over to Orange Beach. It looks like low-end rain chances, just a few stray pop-ups there along the immediate coast. High temperatures in the 80s. Around here locally through Memorial Day, you can see this is pretty much going to be the story here. 20 to 30% chance of rain. The rain chances at some point there Sunday and Monday, we may need to go a little bit higher. We're tracking some models show a greater coverage of rain and other disturbance. And I just want to stress this time of the year, it's so important to check in frequently for updates because this forecast, it can change often. This is the nature of summer in Alabama, so be sure to check in. I know, at one point it looked like we wouldn't see a drop of rain this week, and last Friday we started seeing the data showing these showers and thunderstorms, and not every location is going to have just a total washout here for the weekend, but be checking in just in case this changes. But at this point it looks like about a 30% chance, showers and storms, high temperatures close to 80 degrees, overnight lows in the 50s, so it's not a sizzling Memorial Day weekend forecast here. We're not seeing 90s. Looks like we're going to stay close to 80 degrees, but what a forecast here, just kind of trying to pinpoint where these storms pop up as we go to meteorologist Lauren Linehan. Lauren, nature of summer around here, these storms are kind of chaotic. They're random where they develop sometimes. And Saturday, case in point, we had some scattered storms. I didn't get a lot of rain at my house, but it poured in some areas over the weekend.
And we got people wondering where the rain was. We got some emails this weekend. That's how it works. In the summertime, you have these scattered thunderstorms. And think about when you're popping a bag of popcorn. Can you pinpoint exactly which kernel is going to pop next? No, and meteorologists can't do that with storms either, unfortunately, in the summer months. But we can look at general patterns and get an idea of what the weather pattern will be, so brushing it with more of a broad stroke. But let's look 8 to 14 days from now, over the next 2 weeks as we get into June. What could temperatures be doing? Well, though, over the next 7 days, we could see temperatures near or below average. I think as we get into June, eventually we could be seeing a trend towards above average temperatures across Alabama. So that means we could very well see some 90s eventually. Right now, though, as we look into early next week, potentially upper 70s, low 80s, but you see late next week as we get into the first couple of days of June, not out of the question to get near 90 degrees. And then as we look at those low temperatures, potentially a nice stretch of 50s beginning later this week and going into the middle of next week before we see those morning lows turn milder. And it's just like right on cue as we head into June, you get the humidity that just kind of settles in. It doesn't really go anywhere, and it just stays with you all summer long, and that helps to bring those morning lows up. So as we look at precipitation chances, could we be seeing an above average precipitation pattern? Does look like a possibility across Alabama as we look 8 to 14 days from now. So the pattern 2 weeks from now is favoring the possibility of more rain and storms in the forecast, and we've certainly been seeing that around here lately. So let's get a look at this Futurecast data. And as Wes was saying, this can and will change. You've always got to make sure you're checking in every day with the forecast. This is showing possibly after Memorial Day weekend, Tuesday, May 30th, another upper level low spinning across the southeast, and that could be putting us on the farther west side of that, where we could get a little bit of dry air in place, maybe more rain off towards the Carolinas. But that's not to say that we couldn't see some off and on showers and storms at times. It looks like this pattern would favor maybe better rain chances across North Alabama as we wrap up May and go into the first week of June. Here's the first weekend of June, June 3rd, that's Saturday, showing the potential for a few showers and storms, not looking overly hot just yet, but still looking unsettled as we get into that first full week of June, Monday. That would be June 5th. Hard to believe it is almost here. Well, coming up on First Alert Weather Extra, we check in with Matt and Mickey for a look at some SEC baseball. We'll be right back.
We heard the first alert. Mom says we have to go. She says I don't have time to grab any more toys.
Need to be in your tornado-safe place. Get there right now as you have.
We have to get to our safe place because sometimes when you hear the siren, it's too late. That's why she says knowing first is everything.
We know weather can be grab the umbrella or jogging shoes, but it's so much more. It's a science, an art, led by knowledge and experience.
And no one has more of that than a WBRC First Alert weather team.
Warning you first with more hours committed to you. And the first forecast built to see weeks, days, and even minutes ahead, right down to where you live. From the team you trust on your favorite screen.
Doing the weather better. The WBRC First Alert weather team, always on your side.
The first alert is more than a warning. It's a promise. A promise to get you out of harm's way with plenty of time to spare. 4 walls and a roof can be replaced. Lives can't. That's why knowing first is everything. First Alert Weather.
Welcome back to First Alert Weather Extra. I'm meteorologist Lauren Linehan. Summer is almost upon us. It certainly feels like it. But hey, baseball season has already been underway and the SEC baseball tournament is just around the corner. We check in with meteorologist Matt Daniel and Mickey Ferguson for the forecast.
Well, let's get kicked off right here with some SEC baseball action forecast. What do you think about that, Matt Daniel?
That starts, what, tomorrow?
I believe it does.
Tomorrow, and here's the SEC baseball schedule. So if you're going to Hoover, we're looking at lots of baseball happen. In fact, Georgia, South Carolina, they started all off at 9:30 in the morning. Then you got Texas A&M, Tennessee. 30 minutes after that game, then they'll wait for lunch, and then guess what? You got Alabama, and then after the Alabama baseball game, you got Auburn.
Exactly. And then Missouri and Auburn. So, Auburn's ranked 5th. I didn't realize that, just under South Carolina. So
I think it's a seeding thing. I'm not completely sold.
Oh,
that's just what they have on the site.
Oh, I got it wrong. See,
I'll admit I don't really follow baseball as much, but hey, it should be a good time.
I like
and the forecast a little tricky tomorrow. I think we might have rain to start it out.
Yeah, we do have rain. It's kind of a lingering system from today. Could linger overnight tonight into tomorrow morning. But tomorrow afternoon looks really, really nice. We still could have some stubborn cloud cover. But look at those temperatures in the mid-70s and should see lower humidity levels as well.
Yeah, the humidity should start to drop a little bit by tomorrow night, especially going into Wednesday. But it could be a little wet. They might have to delay some games. So make sure you monitor the First Alert Weather app. And, of course, you might want to tune in for Good Day Alabama tomorrow morning. Mickey and I, we're going to be tracking any of that rain. That's on First Alert AccuTrack radar. And then as we go into Wednesday, a really ideal morning and afternoon to watch some baseball.
We've got highs in the upper 70s, maybe 80 degrees Wednesday, but the dew point's really low, and we've got that northeast breeze keeping you cool. That's going to be real nice. We might have to watch some baseball games with that forecast.
That's right. So, yeah, Wednesday's looking like the better day. But just a reminder, if you're going to be out to watch some of those baseball games throughout the week, because, of course, it's seeded and the winner will advance to the next day or so, that UV index after tomorrow is going up to 10. That's in the very high range for both Wednesday and Thursday. So what does that mean, Mickey, when it's in that very high range?
Well, we just need to wear extra protection, whether it's a long sleeve shirt. You really don't want to do that outside when it starts to warm up. So sunscreen is a good idea, but a hat, sunglasses, protect your eyes as well. So
yeah, definitely recommend the hat and the sunglasses, and apply that SPF 15 or higher every 2 hours, especially if you're going to be watching baseball throughout the afternoon. And of course, we have Memorial Day weekend coming up, Mickey.
It's the unofficial start of summertime. And we do have temperature readings are going to be in the upper 70s to low 80s. But just a slim chance of rain this weekend. It's looking pretty good.
Yeah, the Gulf Coast, not too bad if you're heading down there. So, of course, that forecast could easily change. Still pretty early. Memorial Day is another week from now. So, make sure you download the WBRC First Alert Weather app.
Yeah, and take some pictures if you're down there Memorial Day weekend. Maybe send us some, and we might could share them.
Yeah, and I know a lot of people are going to be graduating too. So, we wouldn't mind
didn't think about that.
Graduation pictures as well.
And congratulations.
It's a hard word to say.
I think so too.
Is it?
Yeah, it was.
Okay.
Thanks, Matt and Mickey. Well, as they said, tomorrow morning we do have a first alert for some rain likely around. I would have that umbrella and rain jacket and factor in that extra time as you walk out the door so you can drive slowly on the roads on the way into work. And then we still have a 30% chance of a few showers on Wednesday, but really it looks like Tuesday morning is going to be the most widespread rain. And then we got some drier air working its way in later on Wednesday into Thursday. Temperatures looking a little bit more seasonable. Tomorrow going to be fairly cool because of that cloud cover and rain around, but back in the 80s Wednesday and Thursday, and then you'll see 50s in the forecast all the way into next week. So some pleasant mornings. As we head towards Memorial Day weekend, we do work in a chance of a few showers and storms. Moisture is going to be on the rise again, but not looking like anything too concerning. And hey, looking fairly seasonable going into Memorial Day weekend. We've certainly seen hotter, but check back in with Chief Meteorologist Wes Wyatt tonight at first at 9 for an update on the forecast, and you can also check in with us here on Weather Extra every weeknight at 6:30 on your favorite streaming platform. So we'll see you again here tomorrow night. I'm meteorologist Lauren Linehan. Have a safe and happy Monday evening.